All right, now I'm gonna step down because I don't want to burn.
All right, guys. There's more benefits to this prop than just teaching fire behavior. It allows the student, which is you guys, to see fire behavior happen from a safe distance. You don't have to be in PPE, right? We don't have to put you inside a container to see the stages of fire develop, fully developed stage, all right? You get to see water application and how it affects your fire, the seat of the fire, how it changes the atmosphere by very little water. I'm using a spray bottle, right? I'm going to change the patterns of how I spray and do water application so we can see that aspect, all right? So we will get started. Some of my fuel is falling over, but that's fine. Yeah. All right, so what stage are we initially going to start with?
An incipient.
Incipient stage, right? That's a very early process. All right, so I will use and start an ignition source. So do we have fire? Light smoke? No flame though, right? All right, so we discussed in the class that we need what? Oxygen. We need fuel, which we have. But what are we lacking?
Heat.
Heat, right? So I'm going to introduce heat. Now, I did that for a very brief period. But what did not happen is the point or the fuel that I induced the heat to did not reach its ignition temperature. Therefore, it could not sustain or continue to combust. All right, we have all the elements there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reintroduce the heat, allow my fuel to reach its ignition temperature, and see if we can get that sustained combustion. All right, so are we burning? Do we have sustained combustion? Still a little flame in there. Byproduct, which is smoke, right? All right, so we're still burning, right? Look at our layering, all right? Our byproduct, our smoke is high, right? Leaving the compartment. So I want you to treat this box as, you can look at it as a house or you can look at it as a bedroom. Room and contents, okay? So some of you guys that have the thermal imaging camera, go ahead and start using that. You can shoot 4 sides of the box as we burn to get different heat signatures and temperatures and readings, all right? So am I getting a reading from a thermal right now? Somebody spout off a number. 86.
Is that low or high? Where are you at? Pointing at? Lower side, 86?
What color is the smoke that's leaving the compartment? Right, so we're dealing with Class A combustibles, right? Just wood. We don't have any plastics, we don't have any synthetics, petroleum-based products, just wood. Now, that we discussed in the PowerPoint, the lecture, that fire does what in size over time? It grows, right? It doubles in size. And then that will double, So 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 8, 8 turns to 16. You see where that goes? All right. So velocity of our smoke, still a little laminar, slow moving, slow rolling, exiting the compartment. Getting a little denser, right? It's not really heavy, but it's definitely heavier than what we started out. So what's happening now? We're getting fire or flame impingement to the ceiling, right? We're growing. We're in that growth stage now. We've left the incipient stage and we're in the growth. So what's happening in the growth stage? Our fuel is being consumed, right? It is heating up. Each individual twig or fuel product that's in there is heating up to its ignition temperature. It's got oxygen, it's got fuel, it's got heat. It starts the incipient stage, right? It's absorbing energy in form of radiant heat, right? We're getting conduction because they're touching. And also we do have some convection going on, right? But more so we have a lot of radiant heat.
Also speeding your smoke doing, guys, to get faster.
Yes.
So we're probably around the, what, 2.5 minute stage. How much has our fire grown? Has it would it be safe to say that it has now doubled in size?
Oh yeah.
Probably a little bit on the 4 to 8 size, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's assess our fuels that we have loaded at the front of the box. All right. How is JJ doing?
You're still standing.
All right. Still standing up, right? Our smaller products of Class A, the paper, still intact.
Yep.
Our dry carpet still intact, wet carpet still intact. So we definitely have what? Rollover across the ceiling. Now that fire is stretching out. It's stretching its legs, right? So I can easily, what do I do when I do this?
Cut off the oxygen.
Cut off the oxygen, right? So this should affect my fire, right? I'm removing a leg. So look at the density of our smoke now. I have removed the leg, still have heat, still have fuel. It's just lacking what?
Oxygen.
Right? Didn't take long, the heat was there. Smoke cleared up, right? Because it's burning more clean. The byproducts and the smoke that's being released from the burning fuel is now being consumed up by the flames, all right? So when we talk about that, are we still in the growth stage? Absolutely. So now we have flames exiting the compartment. Definitely have rollover. So now these flames are rolling into what? The hallway, entering into the rest of the structure, stretching out. What is our smoke now doing? Is the speed picked up?
Yes.
Density? Door control. All right, a little bit of door control. Starve that environment. Smoke is what? Is it fuel?
Yeah, it's unburnt fuel.
Still a lot of heat. So do we have signs of flashover yet? Some of the signs we talked about is off-gassing, right? It's the vapor that's burning, so the walls would be off-gassing, releasing vapor. Right now it's just the products of the ceiling and that in the corner and some of the smoke that is burning, but the walls are still pretty intact, all right? So as I allow the box to heat up, still haven't applied any water. 1100 at the ceiling. Okay. What's burning? Smoke's burning, right? Fuel, byproduct. Kind of has a yellowish tint to it. So why our smoke is not lighting off? Because it's not hot enough. It's leaving the box. It hasn't reached. It's getting cool as it leaves the box. So we'll allow this process to get back up and build. Does everybody see the importance of door control? Mm-hmm. Just being mindful of the ventilation points that are either established prior to us getting on scene or the ones that we establish ourselves. It's very important that we control that, especially if we have who inside the building. JJ or possible victims, right? So JJ's starting to take some heat now.
It's almost reached the bottom.
Hopefully he's saying maybe I probably shouldn't be standing up. Smoke is fuel, right? Carpet's still intact. Paper's starting to get a little bit of paralysis. Definitely our carpet on this side, the dry, it's burning.
JJ's starting to fall. Slowly.
So notice when I control the door, how that fire is so much starving for oxygen that it will pull a suction. And I want you guys to just try to listen to that when that happens. So we'll let it build, we'll let it heat up, get hot. Yeah, JJ, he's in a bind.
Did it fill out?
Yeah.
Just so far, it's hard to find.
So now that we have our fire burning, we're at flashover, right? Little water application. So try to listen to this fire pull oxygen.
Y'all hear it? The one's closer to the trailer? It kind of hiss a little bit.
So what has happened to our models down here? Yeah, they're very much so dangerous. So what is the density of our smoke now?
Very dense.
Very dense,
Very
very pressurized, right? Color changing. Do we have oxygen entering the box or the compartment low?
Yes.
All the smoke, heat exiting, right? We call that particular flow path bilateral flow path. Bi meaning two. Okay? Now, so if you have a one-directional flow path, that is essentially an exhaust point. All right? If you have two, bear with me, sometimes this thing gets a little difficult to line up. So a little bit of water application, straight stream. Door control. So did I change what was going on within the box? So why is it not lighting? It's not hot enough, right? I applied water, steam, right? Water expands 1,700 times in the form of steam.
Place a little water in there, close the door, and let the steam smother.
That's right. So in the realms of how we operate on a department our size, because we're waiting on individuals to come, we may be by ourselves, we could do what?
Shut all the doors.
Close the door, throw a little water in there.
First one on scene, go while they're doing the 360, shut all the doors and windows.
JJ's gone, right? So it's important. All right? So let's try to listen for that sound, that suction sound. Fire's definitely dense. Can everyone see that bilateral flow path through here? Right? High heat, cool air. Fire needs that. All right, so we went through the stages of burning, fully developed. I can apply water to it, but I can't overcome it. Why? Because I don't have enough GPMs to combat those BTUs. So when we approach a fire, we can close the door, add a little water because it is doing the sucking, right? It's pulling in the steam. Am I getting steam conversion on the exterior of that door?
Yes.
Absolutely. What color is my smoke?
White with brown. So now you have a building material.
Does everyone see that? The importance of knowing what is actually going on. The signs and symptoms that we are being shown by the fire is very important, whether we're either going to mitigate the fire from the exterior and then enter, or is it safe to actually enter initially? All right. So let's look at fog patterns. All right, fog streams. Why is it not doing anything?
Because you're adding more air.
Because my water stream is already broken up. It's evaporating before it ever reaches the seat of the fire. Right? Fire expands, but it is already expanding because I've broken it up. And look at the disruption I'm causing. You stick a fog stream through a window, you're disrupting and churning that environment. But a straight stream with a little bit of control, so I'll crack the door, apply water, shut it up. All right? Allow that steam. Remember I talked about oxygen? Oxygen struggles to share the environment with anything other than itself. All right? If there's something present other than oxygen, oxygen's going to do what? It's going to drop in numbers. All right? So what's actually burning up here?
Smoke.
What color is my smoke down low?
Brown.
Look at the density, pushing out those ventilation points. Sometimes you'll have cracks in homes, right? Pressurized smoke leaving cracks in the building are all telltale signs of how much pressure that fire actually has within that structure. All right, it's very dense.
If you were to grab that door, guys, have his hand, it vibrates a little bit. Put that up against there.
I'm gonna get the 5%. Let's check it out.
All right, so what's going on? What stage are we in now?
Decay.
Decay, right? We're running out of fuel. So I'll introduce a little more fuel. We'll allow that to burn. Start its incipient phase, growth, fully develop, and then we'll work through the process again. So if we're going to assess an interior door or an exterior door,